Assalamu alaikum. Today I am going to discuss thyroid metabolic hormone. First of all, it is necessary to know what is the location of the thyroid in our body. Thyroid gland is present just around the trachea, and it is present just below the larynx, and its weight is 15 to 20 grams in the adults. Two types of hormones are produced by it: thyroxine, abbreviated as T4, and the triiodothyronine, it is abbreviated as the T3. Both of these hormones has a profound or very prominent type of effect on the metabolic rate of the body. If the body if there is complete lack of if there is complete lack of thyroid hormone in the body, 40 to 50% metabolic rate downs or let down, and if its concentration increases, 60 to 100% increase in metabolic rate can be seen. And both of these hormones, T3 and T4, they are controlled by the TSH, and TSH is released from anterior pituitary. Another important hormone which is released from the thyroid gland is the calcitonin. Okay, next is the next topic in which we are going to discuss how thyroid hormone is synthesized and secreted. Okay, 93% of metabolically active hormone secreted by the thyroid gland is thyroxine, it's mean T4, and 7% is the triiodothyronine, it's mean T3. However, concentration of T3 is less in the thyroid gland, and it is more potent. Potent means more strong or has more profound effect, as well as T4 is less strong than T3, sorry. However, the receptors in the body cells have the body cells have receptors for T3, so it is necessary to convert T4 into T3 when it enters into the cells to perform its function. Next is the physiological anatomy of thyroid gland. It is composed of follicles. The diameter of the follicles is approximately 100 to 300 micrometer in diameter, and these follicles are filled with the substance known as colloid, while the colloid is released from the cuboidal epithelial cells that secrete into the interior of the follicles. The major constituent of the colloid is a large glycoprotein known as thyroglobulin, and the tyrosine part of the thyroglobulin protein gets bind with the iodine, which we get from our food or absorbed from the gastrointestinal tract, and then it is converted into the T3 and T4. I am going to explain you with the help of the diagram. This is the cross section of the thyroid gland. Many of you people know this diagram. Maybe I showed previously this slide to you in laboratory during the practical. These are the large fluid-filled spaces known as follicles, and these follicles are lined with the special type of the epithelial cells known as cuboidal epithelial cells. Now these follicles are filled with the colloid. Colloid is the liquid substance. This is shown here in the blue color, and now colloid, a major portion of the colloid is made up of a protein, glycoprotein actually. This is known as thyroglobulin. Okay, these are the red blood cells, and here C cells are present, and these C cells are responsible for the release of the calcitonin. Okay, thyroglobulin, which is present in these follicles, has is a 660 kilodalton dimeric protein, and it is produced by the follicular cells of the thyroid gland and used entirely within the thyroid gland. Thyroglobulin protein is released by epithelial cells of the follicles. Next, how much iodine is required for the formation of the thyroxine. Normally, a human body can require 50 mg of ingested iodine for a whole year. It's mean 1 mg iodine per week. To prevent its deficiency, the common table salt, which is available in the market with the iodized salt, it is actually 1 part sodium iodide to every 10,000 1 lakh parts of the sodium chloride. Our body requires a very minimum quantity 1 mg per week of iodine for proper functioning of the thyroid gland. Okay, what is the fate कहते हैं किस्मत को of ingested iodides. Definitely iodides are ingested with the food. Iodides ingested orally are absorbed from the gastrointestinal tract into the blood in about the same manner as the chlorides. You already discussed it in the chapter of the gastrointestinal tract. Normally, most of the iodides are rapidly excreted by the kidneys, but only 1/5 are selectively removed from the circulating blood by the cells of the thyroid gland, and they are used for synthesis of the thyroid hormone. Now, how iodide pump works or iodide trapping occur in the thyroid gland. The first stage is the formation of the thyroid hormone. It is shown in the diagram, and it is the transport of iodide from the blood into the thyroid glandular cells. Okay, I am showing you this with the help of a diagram. This is the first step in the formation of the thyroid hormone. First of all, here a Symporter is present. Symporter is an integral protein present in the membrane, which is responsible for the movement of different types of substances in the molecule, and abbreviated as NIS. It means sodium iodide Symporter. The sodium iodide Symporter is responsible for the movement of one iodide ion into the epithelial cell, along with the 2 sodium ions move inside. Okay, the energy required for this Symporter comes from the sodium potassium pump. Sodium is actively moved from inside the cell to the outside, and potassium move from extracellular fluid into the intracellular fluid. So the concentration of the sodium is kept down inside the cell due to the sodium potassium pump. Process of iodine concentration into the cell is known as iodide concentration is known as iodide trapping. Then this iodide moves from the epithelial cells into the follicle, and in return a chloride ion move inside the epithelial cell. Okay, now this is the step of the formation of the hormone. First of all, it is necessary to convert ID2 or iodine into the nascent iodine. It is either I3 negative or I naught. Then here the process of iodination occurs. Okay, actually the hormone of the thyroid gland are the protein in nature, or they are the derivative of the tyrosine residue. So these proteins are produced in the endoplasmic reticulum, and then these are forwarded to the Golgi complex, and then Golgi complex releases the hormone thyroglobulin precursor. This thyroglobulin precursor then adds with the binds with the nascent iodine, and it is converted into the hormones: MIT, monoiodothyronine, DI3, diiodothyronine, T3 and T4, and then this enters into the epithelial cell with the help with the process of the pinocytosis. These are actually pseudopodia extended by the epithelial cells, and these form vesicles. Now this colloid droplet enter into the epithelial cell. Here the lysosomes bind with this colloid droplet and the proteases act on it, and T3 and T4 releases from the thyroglobulin, and then these hormones are secreted into the bloodstream, to which these through which these hormones are secreted throughout the body. And then MIT, monoiodothyronine and diiodothyronine, they are then recycled.